A jockey is someone who rides horses in horse racing or steeplechase racing, primarily as a profession. The word also applies to camel riders in camel racing. The word jockey originated from England and was used to describe the individual who rode horses. In racing, they must be light, typically around a weight of 100 to 120 lb, and physically fit. They are typically self-employed and are paid a small fee from the horse trainer and a percentage of the horse's winnings. Jockeys are mainly male, though there are some well-known female jockeys too. The job is one that has a very high risk, as they have the risk of acquiring debilitating or life-threatening injuries. The word is by origin a diminutive of jock, the Northern English or Scots colloquial equivalent of the first name John, which is also used generically for boy or fellow, at least since 1529. A familiar instance of the use of the word as a name is in Jockey of Norfolk, in Shakespeare's Richard III. v. 304. In the 16th and 17th centuries, the word was applied to horse dealers, postilions, itinerant minstrels and vagabonds, and thus frequently bore the meaning of a cunning trickster, a sharp, whence the verb to jockey, to outwit, or to do a person out of something. The current meaning of a person who rides a horse in races was first seen in 1670. Another possible origin is the Gaelic word ichadhe, a horseman. The Irish name Yochade is related to each horse, and is usually translated as horse rider. This is phonetically very similar to jockey. Jockeys must be light to ride at the weights which are assigned to their mounts. There are horse-carrying weight limits that are set by racing authorities. The Kentucky Derby, for example, has a weight limit of 126 pounds and weighs 1,190.5 pounds. Jockeys are normally self-employed, nominated by horse trainers to ride their horses in races, for a fee and a percentage of the purse winnings. In Australia, employment of apprentice jockeys is in terms of indenture to a master, and there is a clear employer-employer relationship. When an apprentice jockey finishes their apprenticeship and becomes a fully fledged jockey, the nature of their employment and insurance requirements change because they are regarded as freelance. Like contractors, jockeys often cease their riding careers to take up other employment in racing, usually as trainers. In this way, the apprenticeship system serves to induct young people into racing employment. Jockeys usually start out when they are young, riding work in the morning for trainers, and entering the riding profession as apprentice jockeys. It is normally necessary for an apprentice jockey to ride a minimum of about 20 barrier trials successfully before being permitted to ride in races. An apprentice jockey is known as a bug boy, because the asterisk that follows the name in the program looks like a bug. All jockeys must be licensed and usually are not permitted to bet on a race. An apprentice jockey has a master, who is a horse trainer, and the apprentice is also allowed to claim weight off the horse's back. In handicapped races, more experienced riders will have their horses given an extra amount of weight to carry, whereas a jockey in their apprenticeship will have less weight on their horse, giving trainers an incentive to hire these less experienced jockeys. This weight allowance is adjusted according to the number of winners that the apprentice has ridden. After a 4-year indentured apprenticeship, the apprentice becomes a senior jockey and usually develops relationships with trainers and individual horses. Sometimes senior jockeys are paid a retainer by an owner, which gives the owner the right to insist the jockey ride their horses in races. Racing modeled on the English Jockey Club spread throughout the world with colonial expansion. The colors worn by jockeys in races are the registered colors of the owner or trainer who employs them. The practice of riders wearing colors probably stems from medieval times when jousts were held between knights. However, the origins of racing colors of various patterns may have been influenced by racing held in Italian city communities since medieval times. Purple, gold and/or yellow, nude. Such traditional events are still held on town streets and are known for furious riding and the colorful spectacle they offer. While the term silks is used in the United States to refer to racing colors, technically, silks are the white breeches and bib, stock or cravat. Obtaining them is a rite of passage when a jockey is first able to don silken pants and colors in their first race ride. At one time, silks were invariably made of silk, chosen for being a lightweight fabric, though now synthetics are used instead. Silks and their colors are important symbols of loyalty and festivity. Many of the silks bear checkered patterns, polka dots, stripes or icons such as quatrefoils. The wearing of silks originated in the United Kingdom,